Hi, you guys. It's Yaz, and today I'm going to talk about what happens when you expose the narcissist. So many people want to get revenge or want to get back at the narcissist or let everybody know that the narcissist is toxic. So in this podcast today, I'm going to talk about what happens when you actually expose that narcissist, okay? Well, it depends on the type of narcissist that you're dealing with, right? Different narcissists handle things differently. Like a covert narcissist would handle it more different than what an overt, grandiose, or malignant narcissist, how they would handle it. So, number one, when you expose a narcissist, be ready because they will seek revenge on you. That's why we say generally you should not expose the narcissist. You should walk away because there's going to be, they're going to come for you. They're going to come for you in some way. They're going to try to hurt you in some way. Maybe, it'll be overtly, or maybe it'll be behind your back, the smear campaign, or try to get you in trouble with the authorities, or some way a narcissist doesn't just let things go, you guys. But in certain instances, you have to expose the narcissist. Like, for instance, if they're committing fraud or they're doing something that is really, really bad, those type of people need to be exposed, but you got to be careful when you expose the narcissist. So I'm going to give you a couple of scenarios of what will happen. Number one, narcissists hate to be challenged. So when you challenge a narcissist, when you expose the narcissist, you're going to create a narcissistic injury. And guess what? That narcissist is going to be out for blood. They're going to look to destroy you for exposing them. The other thing to keep in mind is this. When you expose a narcissist, the narcissist or their flying monkeys are going to say you're doing a smear campaign, okay? Because you're exposing them. No, you're not doing a smear campaign. You're exposing somebody who's a fraud, who's a fake, who's a liar, who's a manipulator. So it's not a smear campaign, but that's what a narcissist is going to say. They're going to say you're hurt, you're jealous, that's why you're doing it, all right? And like I said, generally, you shouldn't expose the narcissist because you don't want to, number one, set yourself up to always have to look over your shoulder that they're going to come for you in some way. But again, remember that, they're going to, when you're dealing with a narcissist, they are going to try to come after you. But if you're dealing with somebody that's very, very toxic, exposing that narcissist is going to set you up to be, in a position where you're going to be a target. Now, what happens when you expose the covert narcissist? A covert narcissist, when they know that you're on to their game, they're going to disappear or they're going to call you crazy. Covert narcissists love the mental card, love to say that you're crazy. The way they set you up for that is when they feel that the relationship's starting to break down, even before it hits the bottom, they're going to manipulate other people because they're worried about image and manipulate these people into thinking that you are crazy because they are afraid that you're going to expose them. They're also going to smear you behind your back. They're going to try to hurt you any way they can, whatever your vulnerabilities are. That's why you never tell the narcissist what you're sensitive about or vulnerable about, because the minute you have a falling out with that narcissist or you try to expose that narcissist, the first thing they're going to do is try to hurt you with your vulnerabilities, okay? So, you guys, a covert narcissist is going to either ignore you when you expose them and say, oh, well, you're just crazy, or you're just jealous, or something like that. They love to call you jealous because you're exposing them. No, I'm not jealous of you, but what I am doing is exposing you to everybody to let them know that, you know what, you're a toxic person. The other thing is when you expose an overt narcissist, they're going to be yelling and screaming. They're going to be combative. Be ready to put the gloves on because they're going to, they're really going to go off and ballistic. And then they could also just, it's, walk away and be like screaming and yelling, calling you every name in the book, insulting you, criticizing you, judging you, putting you down in every which way. A malignant narcissist, when you expose a malignant narcissist, this is a very dangerous situation, okay? You don't expose a malignant narcissist, all right? Because a malignant narcissist is going to be out for blood. That's where you're really going to have to look over your shoulder. This person will stalk you. This person will, try to hurt you physically. They themselves could try to hurt you, or they could try to send somebody to hurt you. All right, so never, ever expose a malignant narcissist. You walk away in silence. But what narcissists love to do is they love to call you angry because you're exposing them. How dare you? How dare you expose the narcissist, all right? See, they don't like people that are strong. They don't like people that call them out for their nonsense. They don't like that. So, I get this even on some of my posts where I get somebody that'll say, oh, she sounds angry or this, that. No, it's not that I'm angry. It's that I'm trying to preach a point. That doesn't make me an angry person. It just makes me somebody passionate about the subject because I'm trying to get through and save people's lives. But see, only a narcissist would say something like that, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to put you down and cut you up. And that's exactly what a narcissist will try to do when you try to expose them. They're going to try to cut you up. They're going to call you jealous and everything like that. Just like when I was dealing with the copycat that I'm dealing with, the narc abuse coach from India. First thing that narc abuse coach is going to say is, you're jealous. No, I'm not jealous. But what I am doing is exposing you for copying my knowledge and putting it off on your platform and trying to make it off as your own, because you're not authentic. You're stealing from an authentic narc abuse victim, and you're trying to play the victim. That person is basically, they are a covert narcissist. They are fake, phony, trying to portray an image of somebody that they're not, build a platform, scam people for money, for coaching and whatever other services they offer. But yet they're stealing from me, my content, my knowledge, and from other influencers to build their own platform. But what is that narc abuse coach from India going to say? They're going to say, I'm jealous. No, I'm not jealous. As a matter of fact, I don't even want to hear about these things. I don't even want to deal with these kind of things. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to let you get away with fraud. That's not going to happen. But what you and your flying monkeys are going to say is that, I'm doing a smear campaign. It's not a smear campaign. It's exposure. That's exactly what it is. It's exposing you for doing something corrupt. And that is not a smear campaign. That's the difference between exposing somebody and a smear campaign is when you're just going around smearing somebody, just because you don't like them or whatever. I am exposing because you are stealing my content and plagiarizing it and putting it out as your own, okay? That is not a smear campaign. That is exposing somebody for doing something corrupt, all right? That's the difference. But what narcissists will do is they will say it's a smear campaign when you expose them, all right? Or they'll call you the narcissist. They'll always flip the shame back onto you because they're in the hot seat because you're exposing them, all right? Now you're going to get the character assassination of the narcissist because you're hitting them with the facts. You want to destroy a narcissist? You just hit them with the facts. You just completely hit them with the facts. And they are going to either run, if it's a covert narcissist, they're going to run for the hills and call you crazy and then smear you behind your back. Or if you're dealing with an overt or grandiose narcissist, they might start yelling, cursing you out, putting you down, calling you a loser, calling you, insulting how you look, saying you're stupid, everything else, that's how they're going to try to get back at you as well. All right. So they don't like it. They don't like to be exposed. See, a narcissist always wants to be under the radar. You're killing their game. Narcissistic abuse information is killing the narcissist game because it's waking people up to the toxic behaviors of these narcissistic demonic people that work in an underhanded, dark way. They don't walk in the truth. They manipulate, they gaslight to confuse, they triangulate by ganging up on people with triangulation, all right? They smear you behind your back because they're jealous of you, all right? So let's clarify when you expose somebody. When you're exposing the narcissist, you're exposing them not because you're trying to do a smear campaign like the narcissist is going to try to put on you, but you're exposing them because they did something corrupt. They lied. They manipulated. They may have cheated, okay? They may have stolen from you. So you are exposing them. You're not smearing them. You're exposing them for who they are, a toxic person. And like I said, if you're going to expose the narcissist, be ready for repercussions to come back at you, all right? This is why, like I said, generally, you don't want to expose the narcissist. You want to just walk away and leave the mess where it belongs. They will destroy themselves because they don't follow divine law, okay? So eventually, the laws of life, they will destroy themselves. Evil always destroys itself. Understand that, all right? You don't have to destroy evil. Evil will destroy itself because everything that is in the dark always comes to the light. And people that have lived life and have that life experience know that because they have seen that. And that's not something that you would read in a book. That's something that's real life experience, you guys. There is no education better than real life experience. This is not something that you would read in a book. Sometimes things that, you incur with narcissistic abuse are not in a textbook. I could tell you things that are not in a textbook that a psychologist wouldn't know, all right? Because it's things that you experience along the way through life, okay? It's like, are you going to take advice when you go into battle from somebody who read about battle history? Or are you going to take advice from somebody who was actually at the battle and went through the battle and could tell you things that are not in a textbook? I would rather know from somebody who was actually in it. It's like, I have a child that's severely autistic. I could tell you that the people in the autism group, the powerful autism group on Facebook that I'm in, and let me tell you, they are a tough, rough group, but they are a smart group. And I have gotten better information from the parents in that group than I ever got from any psychiatrist, any MD. And I've been through a number of them for my son in and out of hospitals that gave me incorrect advice that landed my son in a hospital because they didn't know how to use, they didn't know how to, prescribe medications and the effect of the medications and all of that. But it was the parents. It was the parents of the autism group that had that life experience that told me what to use on my son with regard to sleep medications and everything else that worked for them, real life experience that got me and my son to a point where he is stabilized today. And I thank God every day for that, all right? So I'm getting a little off track here, but what I'm trying to say to you is this, all right? The bottom line is, number one, you don't normally want to expose a narcissist. If you can avoid it, it's better to just avoid it. Your karma, your revenge is the fact that you will never talk to that person again. They are RIP. And if you are a good person, it's their loss, not your loss. You have to accept the fact that you dealt with somebody. You may have gotten played. You have to accept that. I have to accept certain things that I went through in my life. Not because it's my fault, but because I didn't know. I had no way of knowing, but I accept it and I move on from that and I learn from that. And my pain is my strength. And I realize that I will never, ever, ever let anybody put me in that position again or take that kind of disrespect again. And that's another thing I want to bring up in this podcast is about respect. See, I consider myself a pretty strong individual just because of all the traumas that I went through. And I went through a lot of traumas, more than I even tell you guys or podcast on, all right? So the point in all of this is when you go through a lot of traumas, it makes you a strong individual. You start out weak, you become weak, but then you come up the ladder and you get really strong, and you have you won't let anybody ever disrespect you again. And I get people that challenge and attack me all the time, whether it's, school people that I deal with, or medical people that I deal with, or different kinds of narcissists, or family people, or whatever it is, all right? I get people all the time that try to challenge me because of my strength, and I won't have it. And what they'll do is, what a narcissist will do is they will try to cut you up. They will call you angry. They will call you bitter because you're standing up for yourself. It's a way of intimidation to break you down. No, not today, Satan. I know who the fuck I am, and I'm going to call you out on the facts. That's why you walk in the facts, you walk in the truth, and you'll always stay above, all right? Nobody ever can put you down when you stick to the facts. But what a narcissist is going to do is they're going to try to discredit you for being a strong person. And when you try to expose that narcissist, they're going to try to discredit you and try to invalidate you and, do a character assassination on you and to everybody else, so that exposure has no validity, all right? But when you spew out those facts, there is nothing anybody could say when you walk in the truth. Either they're going to accept it, the people that, walk in the truth will acknowledge the truth, all right? The people who are, believe in truth and God and all of that, they will acknowledge the truth when you expose the narcissist, but the people that back the narcissist may not acknowledge that, and you've got to be ready for that. You got to be ready for the narcissist supporters, the flying monkeys, to come at you as well and say, you're crazy, or you're just jealous, or you're just trying to get back at the narcissist. No, what I'm doing is I'm calling out the narcissist for what they are: a liar, a manipulator, a gaslighter, somebody who uses triangulation to gang up on people, somebody who maybe isolates people, somebody who tries to invalidate people. No, it's not about that. It's about this. But if they won't acknowledge the fact that you're speaking in the truth, then you are dealing with toxic as well, okay? And that's usually their supporters, the flying monkeys, and they will support the narcissist because they're either afraid of the narcissist, or they need the narcissist. They don't need you, or they personally don't like you, okay? So they will be against you. So anybody who's not with you is not your people, and you've got to cut them off. Anybody who won't acknowledge the facts that you put in front of them about the narcissist and won't back you is not your people. That's how you weed it. These are not your people. If you're giving them the truth and you're giving them the facts and they still want to say you're crazy, you don't know what you're talking about, these are not your people. They were against you even before you said anything. Understand that. So it didn't matter whatever you said, they're still going to be against you. You got to cut them out because they don't have you back. All right. So you guys, like I said, don't expose the narcissist unless you absolutely have to, unless they're committing fraud. Like in my situation with this narc abuse coach influencer from India, he is copying, plagiarizing, and, that is something that should be exposed because he's, taking money from other people. That's a scam, all right? That's basically a scam. You're taking money from people, trying to portray that you're somebody that you aren't, all right, to build a platform, and stealing information and knowledge from other influencers to build your platform, to portray that you are something that you're not. So you're basically a covert narcissist trying to play the victim to build a platform and take my information and other authentic narc abuse influencer coaches' information and build your own platform. And he's done very well with it, by the way, because he's a master manipulator and he's a good con artist. Okay. He's got he's a good talker. And that's what a lot of these narcissists are. They're good talkers. That's why they're able to manipulate, because they know how to twist their words around. So, in a cases like that, yeah, exposure. But again, you will be called like you're giving a smear campaign. It's not a smear campaign. It's exposing somebody who's doing something that is stealing and fraudulent, all right? Just like if you're in a situation with a narcissist and they're doing something, let's say they're, they're trying to blackmail you or they're trying to hurt you in some way, yes, you're going to have to expose that narcissist, all right? You're going to have to go to the police, you're going to have to go to the authorities, you're going to have to expose that narcissist and protect yourself if they're doing something that low. But in general, if it's just, nothing serious, the best thing to do is to walk away from the narcissist, and your first law says your best, walk away and just never, ever have anything to do with them again. You have cut them out of your life. That's their karma. They will never have access to you or access to anything that you offer, okay? So I hope that helps you guys. If it does, hit the subscribe button, share the podcast, and have a great day. Also, you guys, if you're looking for one-on-one confidential phone coach, check out the link in the bio at askyaz.wixsite.com that tells you how to do it. If you want more reels and videos, everything's on YouTube at the Game Exposed podcast. I have over 5,000 videos on there. If you want more posts and information, check out my Instagram and my Facebook at the Game EXP123, and TikTok is the Game Exposed. And have a great day.